guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I recently read the first book in the Sins of Father series, which is about Marcella and MADDOX. And I thought, why not have a session here together where I can share my review, what I think about the book, and I can read some portions of the book, and at the end of the book there'll be a spoiler section, so I'll tell you when that portion starts, so if you want you can just skip that if you don't want to know the main thing. And also there'll be a chapter which we can read together, so it's all in one, and I hope you guys like it. So first of all, I have this book on Kindle on my phone, and right now it's free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So I'll put the link in the description box if you want to have this read this book. After watching this video, you get an idea if you want to read this book or not. Okay, so I think I'll break this book into, first of all, who this is about, then what was my favorite thing about the book, then what I didn't like, and then we'll have a read through session, and then maybe the spoilers. So the first is who this book is about. This book is about Marcella and MADDOX. Now, for all of those, I hope you know who Marcella is, but for all of those who don't, Marcella is the daughter of Luca and Aria. They have their separate book series that is Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles. I've already made a video about explaining Cora Rielly's, book series, the generations, the family, and everything, so you can go and check that out. The link will be in the description, as well as you can click the I button and go watch it. Now, this is Cora Rielly is one of my favorite mafia writers, and Luca and Aria are one of my favorite couples. Bound by Blood is their book, and it's just awesome. It's one of my favorite books, and I was really excited about this series, but this book kind of didn't match the expectation level, because Cora has given us so many nice books that expectations is here, and this book just didn't maybe it's for me only, but I just didn't like this book as much as I expected. Now, this is about Marcella. She is the daughter of the New York capo, Luca Vitiello, and MADDOX on the other hand. Now, there's a history to who MADDOX is. Now, if you guys have read the earlier books in the series, if you have not, don't worry, I'm giving you the details. When Aria was pregnant with Marcella, there was a confusion. She went to Dante, and Luca thought she was being unfaithful, or there was some reason. He got angry, and in that he went out and killed many MCs. He just destroyed their centers and everything, and one of those centers was of MC Tartarus. I think I'm spelling it right. Whatever. His father, MADDOX's father, was killed during that, and he was present there. He was his father told him to hide under the couch, and so he saw his father being killed, which was very traumatic. And he has been brought up to take revenge from Luca Vitiello. His main motive in life is to kill him. So I think that was the background of MADDOX. Now, a little bit about the plot. For this revenge, MADDOX he cannot directly go and obviously kidnap or harm the capo. There'll be security and stuff, but they find out a way in which they can actually kidnap Marcella, because she's a weakling, father's daughter, the princess and everything. So they plan on kidnapping her. Now, Marcella has been engaged for 2 years to Giovanni, and she wants the love which her parents have, but Giovanni, he's so scared of her father that he's not full into it, or for her it's not the 100% she expects. So they break off, and during one of their fights, it's actually when MADDOX kidnaps Marcella, and they go through their own journey. the main motive was to kidnap her and then get her father to exchange himself for her, because obviously any father would do that. And it was like Maddox knew that Vitiello was a different person when he was with his family. His wife and his daughter were her kind of weakness. So, but during the time when she was kidnapped, many things happened which kind of changed Maddox's perspective. They only kidnapped her as a bait, but then the head of the MC, his uncle, started torturing her, and things became, on one on the top of the other. They became more than what was necessary. So ultimately, he changed sides, not literally, but like he did certain things which will be in the spoiler, so you'll get to know it there. Now, my views, what I think about the book. See, there was a lot of hype about this series. Out of all the kids, like the second generation, I am most excited about Nebio and Aurora and Greta and Amo. But after reading this book, I'm kind of scared because this book definitely didn't meet the expectation. And I don't want the same to happen when it comes to their book. I was not exactly very excited about this book. I mean, about Marcella. Because she was not paired up with she was paired up with MADDOX, who we've not read about earlier. But like, their book, I just hope it's good. Now, sorry, I get distracted. Okay, now this book I have, according to me, it's like a 2.5 rating, and one of the reasons why I give it 2.5 is because there is a sole chapter dedicated in the book from the point of view of Luca, which was actually kind of my favorite part in the whole book. Now you may say that's from the point of view of Luca and not even Marcella or Maddox and whatever, but like Luca is my favorite, and he's like a perfect alpha male figure and all that. So, and his portion was just the best, and that's the part which I'll read through, which will also give some spoilers. So be prepared. While reading, you'll see when the spoilers come. So I'll just warn you beforehand. Now, before we go into the reading portion, the character of Marcella, she is supremely beautiful because she's the daughter of Aria after all, and Aria is like the goddess. That's how she has been described in the books. She's very, very pretty. She's very intelligent. She's an A grade student, and she has that responsibility of being the eldest child. Even though she knows she does not have a place in the family business, her father won't allow her because he's too protective of her. But she has to maintain that she's very careful, and she's kind of a perfectionist. Like, there's a portion between her and Amo, his brother, where she's like so particular about the food in her birthday party. So she is kind of like tip top, on point. And when it comes, she's the high class person, and when it comes to Maddox, he belongs to what, according to Marcella, is the dirt level. The MC and all, they're like super wild. They don't have like a code of conduct. They don't have like a status in the society, and which is like one of the main differences between the both. And this book ends with a cliffhanger, which is, I think, because of the cliffhanger, I didn't like this book much, because we don't get the whole story. You can judge the book by its whole story, and I think after reading the second one, maybe my opinions will change. Because in this book, when she was kidnapped, it was only Maddox she could trust in a way. There was no specific reason as to why she should trust him, because at the end, he was the enemy, but he was like the better out of the rest. And she had gone through so much in that period. At some place, I was like shocked, like, no, this won't happen. Cora will stop that at the end. But no, it did. It just went through, and it was not good to read at all. I mean, it was good in the point of view of a book, but like, as a person, I didn't feel good. Like, good reading it, it's like traumatic. And imagine if a person going through that, it's not good, definitely. And I didn't see the connection building up between them. I mean, yes, uh, he was attracted to her because she was beautiful, and she kind of had to make him, be interested in her so that she could find a way to escape. But when things escalated, when things became, from just like for show, fake to real, that I didn't see it coming. And book ends with a cliffhanger, which if you want to know what it is, or like in like a little detail, you need to wait till the end. Now I'll just read the part which is like from Luca's point of view, which is one of my favorite like chapters in the book. So like it's a small session where we can read together, and just tell me in the comment section if you like it, or else next time I would not do this. Okay, so the book has in total 22 chapters, and the 14th chapter in the series is from the point of view of Luca. I think I'll read the whole of it or a little bit. We'll see. I'll maybe skip the spoiler portions for you. So let's start. Luca. Protecting my family has always been my top priority. Nothing was more important, not even the familia. There was a point when they got married. For him, familia was everything. But with time, his priorities changed. From familia to first Aria, then Aria and Matteo, I think, and then with the children became the priority. So it was like family over familia. Staring down at the note from Earl White. Earl White is the captain or the head of the MC which kidnapped Marcella. There was a note Earl White after the kidnapping sent to Luca which said, "Payback time, Vitiello, Earl White, president of the Tartarus MC." Now, I'll just read this portion so that you can understand better, and instead of me just interrupting every minute. "That imbecile probably doesn't know more words," Matteo muttered. I didn't react. There was a static rush in my ears, similar to the one I have experienced years ago when I had thought Aria was cheating on me and I had gone on a killing spree in Tartarus clubhouse. I had lost control back then and I was close to losing it again. This was the time, I told you all when Aria was pregnant with Marcella. She went to visit Dante to talk about the safety of her brother Fabiano, and he thought she was cheating on him, and this was the time, he went, and the thing started from here. It was like Marcella was paying for the wrong of her father. Matteo had been there back then, like he was now, and his gaze held the same concern as he watched me silently as in the past. My body called for blood, for screams, for carnage. I could do nothing but listen to the furious beating of my heart. How am I going to tell Aria? I pressed out. I only found out about 4 hours ago that Marcella has been kidnapped from the campus. One of the men responsible for her safety had called me to tell me. The only reason why he was alive was because I needed every man to destroy the Tartarus, and trying to save his hide was a great incentive. Matteo touched my shoulder. I can do it. No, I crowed. Shaking my head, I slanted a look at my boy, his face still buried in his palm. Amo had been there when the call had come in. His shock reflected my own. Despite being introduced to the familia at his 13th birthday, I had kept many horrid aspects of this world from him by Aria's request. I got up from my chair in my office where we had returned after a futile search. There wasn't a trace of Marcella, nor the members of Tartarus. They had all crawled into their hiding holes, scared of what I'll do if I caught one of them. They would sing like a canary, reveal every secret they ever knew they kept. I should go home now before word reaches Aria. Then I'll just skip a little bit because of his feelings and all that, and reach to the part where he has a conversation with Amo. Amo stepped up to me, gripping my forearm, his eyes harsh. Let me be a part of this search and the destruction of Tartarus. I don't want protection. I don't need to be protected. I want to save Marcy and kill every fucker who hurt her. I want to smash their bodies into a bloody pump. He is just 15 plus. He is about to have his 16th birthday, and I mean, I can't expect a man to be so mature at the age of 15, but this is their world where he has been trained for like a really small age to be like this. So he was almost my height and fierceness in his he almost had my height and fierceness in his gray eyes. My eyes reminded me more of myself than ever before. Protecting him wasn't an option anymore. I nodded and squeezed his shoulder. I hadn't been able to protect Marcella, and I couldn't any longer protect Amo. We'll fight side by side. Next, I'll go to the part where, he actually tells Aria. My heart picked up when I entered our mansion 30 minutes later. Matteo and Amo were close behind me, but this telling Aria everything was my burden. Valerio rushed down the steps, grinning, but one look at my face and his expression fell. What's wrong? I indicated Amo and Matteo to take care of him. Now, for all of those who don't know, Valerio is their third son. He was too young for the gruesome details, but he too needed the truth. Yet, my sole focus was Aria for now. I followed the soft humming into the kitchen where I found her. She was blowing on a steaming cup of tea while reading a magazine. I hadn't expected her to be cooking. Aria was the worst cook in the world. If you have read their book, you know they're just both terrible at cooking. Her golden blonde hair was up in a messy bun, a few wayward strands framing her gorgeous face. Marcella has inherited Aria's beauty and her eyes, but my black hair. Aria was a blonde, Luca was black, not brunette, black, whatever, and she was an exact replica of Aria except the hair. Aria and I had been married for 24 years, longer than both of us have been without each other. She was still as beautiful as our wedding day, maybe even more so. But what made her even more beautiful was that she loved me more fiercely than anyone else. I knew, which was why this news would break her. Aria, I forced out. Every fiber in my body revolted against disturbing her serenity with an ugly truth even I could barely hardly bear. I vowed to keep all harm from her and our family and failed horribly. Aria turned with a soft smile which faded away at a look on my face. She knew me better than anyone, even twitch of my face and the meaning behind it. I could only imagine what my expression must have been like. She set down her cup slowly, worry filling her eyes. What's wrong? How could I tell her? I wanted to lie to her to protect her at least. I wasn't a man who shielded back from an ugly truth or form anything else. I had seen and done too much to be scared, but right this moment I was fucking terrified. Do you remember the Jersey MC? Her brows pulled up. You killed them all when I was pregnant with Marcella? My heart shivered. Of course she remembered. I acted out of sheer desperation and fury back then, not thinking about the consequences of my action. I wanted to maim and kill, and these bikers had seemed like the perfect target. They rebuilt their chapter in the last few years. She nodded because I had mentioned it to her on occasions, especially if one of their insane attacks had caused me a headache. Luca, you're scaring me. What's wrong? What are you not telling me? I moved towards her and touched her shoulder. Marcella, they kidnapped. Aria took a step back, horror twisting her face. No. Aria, no, she whispered. She began to shake, backing away until her back hit the kitchen counter. Tears burst from her eyes. She put a shaking hand over her mouth, gasping for breath, as her anguish stole it from me. I wanted to touch her to console her, but I wasn't sure if she wanted my touch. I was the reason for all of this. Marcella had been a target because of my actions in the past. She's alive, she said, not asked, as if her saying would make it true. Yes, of course she's alive. The president probably wants to blackmail me. They won't kill her. I didn't trust in Earl White's word or his honor, but I had to trust in his instincts of self-preservation. And, then he consoles her, and, like there's a brief chapter that goes on, between them. But, there are, like, you read through a section of the book, then there are three main events that happen. It's a spoiler section, so if you want, you can stop watching it here. Now, there are three main incidents. First is she was asked, when she was kidnapped, the Luca and the group, they attacked one of the MC's clubhouses again, to find things out and all that. And when Earl White gets to know about this, he thinks of taking a kind of another revenge, like, sending a video of Marcella. And if you know what kind of a video I'm saying, and that video was sent, so then there's a portion from Luca's point of view where his reaction to that video and everything, I will read a little bit of that as well, so that you know. It's all from the point of view of Luca. Amo stepped in the dining room, and his face didn't bode well. I got up at once. I had been hungry anyway. The only reason why I was at the dining table was because Aria wanted to preserve a semblance of normalcy for Valerio. He knew more than she wanted, but he humored her, pretending he didn't. Aria and Valerio fell silent. I moved closer to Amo, keeping my voice low as I asked, "What's wrong?" Amo's face was red with anger. The biker posted a video of Marcella on the internet. Aria got up and approached us. "Is Marcella alright? What happened?" "What kind of video?" Amo's phone beeped repeatedly with incoming messages. He slanted a look at the screen. "Fuck, I'll kill them." I grabbed his wrist. "Amo, what kind of video?" The next part, I don't want to say it because it's like a major spoiler, so I won't say it what it is, but like it was really like over the top thing. Then what happened is, the next is the MC, they cut a earlobe of Marcella and send it to Luca, which was again super gruesome and cruel. Now, when all of these things were happening, like in the first case when a video of her was shot, at that time MADDOX was there. In the second time when her earlobe was cut, he was not present. And later he said that if he would have been there, he wouldn't have let that happen. But I guess he would have, because he was sworn to the club. So at the end of the day, he would have had to. He would have felt very helpless, but he wouldn't have had many options. Then I'll just read the part where, Aria's reaction to seeing that her earlobe or whatever. So what happened is, they got a parcel. Aria was opening it, and Luca came from behind and he was like, "It's from Earl White, should not open it for safety reasons and all that." And then he started to open it. And when he opened it, he told Matteo to take Aria away, because he was like, if Aria saw this, she would be like in too much of trauma and all that. So he didn't want her to see. But then, obviously, it's Aria. She knows how to have her way with Luca. So she sees her, she sees that the box. I'll read that part. She looked at Matteo, who was still holding the package. She moved past me. "Show me," she ordered. Matteo glanced at me and I nodded. Aria took the jar and then dropped it back in the package. I wrapped my arms around her from behind, holding her as she cried. Tartarus had hit me in the worst way possible, and Earl White knew it. He relished in it, and knowing men like me, he would loathe to lose this source of power. He wouldn't release Marcella if we didn't find her soon. Helpless was the feeling I wasn't accustomed to, and I didn't allow it to take root. As long as I took breath, I would search for my girl and kill every biker on the way. So this was the portion, and then Arya told him to, get my girl back and all that. This is not like the most exciting portion of the book, but for me, because it had Arya and Luca, it was best for me. Now, Arya and Luca has been my favorite, so you can say I'm biased here, but that's what it is. Now, the third child of Romero and Liliana, her name is also released in this book, which is Inessa. If you've watched my previous video where I talk about the generations, you already know it. If you don't, an extra information. Now, some spoilers is how the book ends. The day, after cutting her earlobe, the MC thought she still should go through more punishment and something like that. So they got her tattooed with yellow whore. And, at this point, MADDOX was like, this is like too much. So he called Luca and gave him the address. So, but unfortunately, there were certain things because of which the club also knew that MADDOX has betrayed them. And, but at the main moment, Luca, released, he got Marcella back, but she was like a totally changed person by then because of, what she has seen and everything. So there are 4 persons who are, the rest are killed, and they take 3 and 4 in captivation or take them captive, whatever you say. And at the end, on Marcella's request, because MADDOX proved his, he chose Marcella's side. He proved that he was given a chance to live. But he took he took Mateo's bike and went off, to take care of some business. And he never came back. I mean, he did come back, return the bike, and then he just left off. And the book ends with this, that where Marcella was waiting for him to return and he didn't, and her family was consoling her that that's what an MC is. He cannot change himself from what he has been brought up in. And everyone was convincing her that she has such a bright future ahead and all that. And it was like, I read the last one paragraph of the book, what was going on in her head. Yeah. I didn't need him, but I wanted him by my side. I wanted him to become a part of my family. I thought we could overcome the chasm between our backgrounds, but our bond had been fatal before the very beginning. MADDOX had saved me and I had saved him. That was all there was. Now I just had to convince my heart. And that's how the book ends, and there's a part 2 that's gonna come out. What I think is, few months will pass, she's again set to marry Giovanni maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe, I think. And then MADDOX gonna make an entry. I hope the second book is going to be more better than the first one, because this book just didn't do it for me. I hope the second one is better. I hope you guys like this particular sit down session with the book, and tell me in the comment section what you think about these. I'm trying to upload more and more book videos now. On update on the audiobooks are not going to be on for some time, because I can only upload them once I reach the monetization, which will happen after I have 4,000 watch hours, and most of my watch hour comes from audiobooks, so I cannot count them. So apart from that, I need to have 4,000 watch hours, which is a lot. So I'm trying to put more and more videos out. Please watch the whole videos, all the videos, and thank you so much. Peace out.